And good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Morning Coffee with Marcaida on this rainy Thursday, gloomy here in New York City, or at least somewhere where I'm at. So, Throwback Thursdays. I was thinking about an old story let's go back to my Kali years, my martial art years, actually, about form and how important is form and what exactly is form, because different arts have different ways of doing their forms. In karate, you have their own form that is different than taekwondo or aikido or Filipino martial arts or in the Chinese arts. Everybody has their own way of doing forms. One particular, when I grew up, I actually took karate and I took taekwondo, and those had its specific form, very rigid, but it had a good feel about it because it was static yet very dynamic when you moved with purpose, right? And that was a good form to learn from. Then later on, I moved on to a dynamic art, a more fluid art in Filipino martial arts, which didn't really put much emphasis on form, but just the application, a lot of drilling, a lot of sparring, right into it, just get into it. We didn't specifically think about the way the body was, simply because in that particular art, what they were looking for was more about application immediately. Now, there was pros and cons to everything else until I found a teacher that taught me the same system but focused a lot on form before function. And he goes, look, what wields the weapon? You're so into the techniques right away that you forgot that what wields the weapon is the body. So first you have to develop the body in a very good solid form so that you don't have injuries. Proper alignment of the body is the basis of good form. So if you think about building a house, it's the solid foundation to have a good form of the foundation of the house so that when it's totally built, it's not tilted in all these other positions. So form is about the proper alignment of your body so there are no injuries, so that you can perform functions much better. It's not about the application right away. It's about developing a good solid foundation. And that can be applied in everything else. Now, there are different arts with different interpretations of form as you grow. Some arts like to pick up form in terms of, for example, some animal styles, right? They're going to go to the monkey or the snake fist and all this to mimic the essence of an animal. Now, one of my teachers goes, no, we're going to go with functional human mechanics. So our form is going to be based on the human anatomy, on human mechanics of movement, as opposed to copying the animals. Last I heard, we are the top of the food chain. We are number one. Why am I going to go down and start acting like these other animals who we dominate, right? Now, he's, of course, I'm being snarky about it. Because just say, hey, no, we're going to copy this, we're not going to look like that. Because when you find the other essence and you start to study other arts, it's not just about the essence of acting like a monkey. There are muscle developments of what you're going to do in the movement. Once again, it's about building a good structure. In life, you would like to think about form as I'm forming my habits. You have to have a good solid foundation of how you do things all the time with what you do. You have to form a good structure of how you react to everything that you do. How do I get up in the morning? As I age, I'm finding out that there are certain practices that you take in the arts that you should also bring into life. Always have those solid foundations. How do you react in a conversation? Does everything that's said to you, do you take in personally, emotionally, and then come out? No, let's formulate a way to accept information, process it properly, have the time to think about it, then give it back. How do I walk in life? Form in the dojo looks good, but when you're walking outside, do I walk this way too? No, but you're missing the point. Form in the dojo is to get that center core of balance, your uprightness, the way you perform, so that when you're outside of the street, it's also about walking that way. Not that I'm going to be fighting the street, but let's look at it. If I have a bad form, I'm walking the street and I slip, boom, I'll break something in my body and that's how I get hurt. But if I walk upright, once again, expand my aura and have balance and I'm walking, number one, it exudes confidence. You're in good form. Whoop, caught my balance because I was walking around in good form. So, once again, Throwback Thursday, thinking about the importance of form and how it actually helps develop other things. You have a good solid foundation. Think of it this way. Form can also be your penmanship in the way you write. We can have different ways of writing stuff, but if you have a good solid structure of the way you write, you will then create and formulate your way of doing things that is you. And hopefully whatever you come up with is something that had a good solid structure. Understand what it is you're building, because that's going to become you. And when you have that good solid structure of form, then you can start to break away from that because you've developed the other things that supported that form. The muscle structure, the way you react in life, the way you think, because you had a good solid form and you formulated something. And I'm using all these puns of form. But nonetheless, I hope you get that point. Throwback Thursday lesson from what I've learned in my martial way. Hope you guys have a good time. Once again, I have to use this cup from Jason Knight because he's holding ransom one of the knives he's promised to give me. So Jason, it's here. I have it on. Send me the knife. Everybody else, hope you enjoy yourselves. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.